Hello and welcome back to the channel. Since December has hit us full force here in the Big Hollow Valley, I've decided to start fermenting my own duck feed. It's getting really cold out, the ducks need a lot of extra nutrients, they're not quite as fat as I would have hoped they would have been by now, and from what I've understood and read, this is supposed to be kind of the equivalent of eating like a bunch of yogurt to help your body process food. The handy part is that all summer I've been feeding them crumbles, which, while it's really nice, doesn't bode well to carrying bowls of it across my yard in 45-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm going to use my leftover crumble to start fermenting duck food, and we're going to see how it goes. Fermenting duck food is a lot like most other fermentations in that you want to keep your duck food completely submerged in water to keep the bad bacteria from growing and you getting mold. So it's important to know how much food you have and it'll give you an estimate how much water it's going to take, although for the first while your duck food is going to absorb significant amounts of that water, and it's going to actually require you to top off your jar more often. The recommended amount was about half a cup of food per flock member. I only have 3 ducks, but since I only have so much of this crumble left to get through, I'm just going to ferment all of it and use it as a supplement to their pellet food during the winter. But it looks like I have roughly 5.5 cups of crumble. I'm going to go ahead and pour that. We're going to go ahead and pour that in this glass jar so that I can watch it ferment. You're going to want to use glass or plastic. If you use metal, it can cause a reaction in your fermentation. I'm going to spill duck food all over my table. Oh, there it goes. You know, I'm just going to hand, maybe? You would think this wouldn't require a phone. You're going to want to pick a jar or vessel big enough for to account for the expansion of your wet duck food. The next step is to fill your jar with enough water to completely submerge all your duck food. You're going to want to use filtered water because most municipalities put chemicals and chlorine in their water to kill all bacteria, and we just want to keep the bad bacteria out. I live in the middle of nowhere and I have a cistern, so depending on where we are in the cistern fill cycle, there is more or less chlorine in my tank. I do have a filter on my tap though to knock out most of those additives, and that's mostly to help with my kidney problems, but it comes in handy for stuff like this. So we're just gonna use that same measuring thing, pour this guy in there. As you can see, it's already starting to soak up some of the water, and the water level, which was here, is going down considerably. I'm just gonna keep pouring this in there. And then I'm gonna take a non-reactive material spoon, my big wooden spoon, and kind of give that a little mix to get the water all the way down into my duck food. gonna mix all that around, get it all nice and wet. So you can see it, that'd probably be helpful. All the duck food nice and wet. And as you can see, so my volume has come up quite a bit and there's no water left on the top. That's going to be a problem for my fermentation, so I'm going to go ahead and get more water. Alright, so the video cut out, but what I did was add more filtered water from the system. You can see it's actually really clear now, 4th time's the charm. The completely saturated duck food is here, and then I have my water cap here that's going to keep the anaerobic, it's going to create an anaerobic barrier to keep the good bacteria in and the bad bacteria out of my fermentation. Everything I've read about this process says it should take roughly 4 to 5 days. So we're just going to throw a loose lid on this guy to let the gases out, and we're going to check back in on it later.